Title: Racist woman demands a black girl leave a luxury boutique, unaware her dad owns the entire chain. Unconned. People used to treat me like I was invisible, but that day at Verona Lux, I became the epicenter of a storm. The boutique, with its glimmering displays and wafts of seductive perfumes, glowed in stark contrast to the darkness of the woman's heart who watched me with disdain. At 16, I stood overwhelmed yet eager, searching for the perfect dress for my father's charity gala, a pivotal moment for a girl who felt unnoticed in a world of opulence. My excitement twisted into discomfort the moment I entered. She was tall, impeccably dressed, and her eyes pierced right through me. With every step I took, she tailed me, her comments dripping with condescension that hinted at an insidious racism. "You don't belong here," her gaze seemed to say, as she maneuvered to involve the manager, falsely accusing me of stealing without a shred of evidence. Taisha felt a surge of anger mixed with self-doubt. Yet I held my head high. This wasn't just my fight. I had dignity worth defending. As the manager faltered under her pressure, I made the choice to call my father, a move that would shift the power dynamics in ways she couldn't imagine. When my father, Marcus Ellis, the owner of Verona Lux, arrived, the air crackled with tension, watching her feign innocence turn bitter as he challenged her lies about me. In that moment, I realized I wasn't just his daughter, but a force to be reckoned with. As the woman was banned from the store, I found strength in my father's proud gaze, a reminder that dignity prevails and that moments of injustice can be catalysts for empowerment. Each breath became a proclamation that I would never be silenced again. Racist woman demands a black girl leave a luxury boutique, unaware her dad owns the entire chain.
Can I help you find something?
The woman's voice dripped with disdain as she blocked Tiana's path in the middle of Verona Lux, her towering frame radiating arrogance. Tiana swallowed hard, glancing around at the shimmering dresses lining the walls.
I'm just looking for a dress.
She replied, her voice straining against the tightness in her chest.
Right, for a special occasion?
The woman raised an eyebrow, her lips curling into a sardonic smile.
Perhaps you should consider shopping somewhere that caters to your, aesthetic.
Tiana felt her cheeks flush. She clutched her purse tighter, her gaze shifting to the floor.
I'm fine, thank you.
The woman didn't budge, instead leaning closer, as if about to impart important wisdom.
You know, dear, we don't take theft lightly here.
She said, her words laced with venom. I'd recommend you leave before this becomes a bigger issue. Is there a problem? The store manager approached, his brow furrowed, but faltering as the woman waved her hand dismissively. Possibly a shoplifter, just wanted to make sure. I wasn't stealing. Tiana's voice rose, igniting a flicker of defiance within her. I was just trying to find a dress. Should call for help? The woman sneered, enjoying the manipulation. With trembling hands, Tiana dialed her father, Marcus. The tension in the air thickened as she repeated the woman's accusations. When Marcus arrived, his presence eclipsed the boutique's glimmering decor. What's going on here? He demanded, brow furrowing at the sight of Tiana's shaken expression. The woman opened her mouth, but the words stuck as Marcus stepped forward, authority radiating from him. Do you know who this is? Abishi. A mix of color drained from her face, realization dawning. Your daughter, he spat, voice low and fierce. And you? Banned, now. The atmosphere shifted. Bystanders watched, whispers echoing, some nodding in silent approval as the woman's facade crumbled. I was just, she stammered, but the truth was laid bare. As Marcus turned to Tiana, pride shone in his eyes. You held your head high, baby girl. Never let anyone make you feel small. Title: Rat girl leave a luxury boutique, unaware her dad owns the entire chain. As the door chimed open, the sweet notes of high-end perfumes enveloped 16-year-old Maya, a cocoon of luxury. Today was special. She was here on her own, searching for the perfect dress for the charity gala her father organized every year. She felt poised and proud, a combination of nerves and excitement coursing through her. Imprisoned between sparkling displays, a tall, impeccably dressed woman appeared in her periphery, her eyes narrowing as they landed on Maya. It began with a lingering stare, the kind that chilled intent like an icy wind. Can I help you find something, dear? She asked, the sugary tone dripping with condescension. Gradually, the woman's gaze shifted to scrutinize every move Maya made, whispering to a passing manager, her voice a tight threat of accusation. "She doesn't belong here," the woman claimed, pointing a perfectly manicured finger. The manager hesitated, caught between the air of privilege exuded by the woman and the uncomfortable reality of Maya's presence. Maya stood firm, an inner strength she didn't know she possessed flaring to life. The words were silent at first, but they built like a tide within her. As she dialed her father, the weight of the moment hung heavy, her calm demeanor masking the storm of frustration brewing just beneath the surface. When her father arrived, the atmosphere shifted. Marcus Ellis, powerful and distinguished, demanded an explanation. The woman stammered, attempting to weave her story, but the moment he acknowledged Maya, the ground beneath her crumbled. Eyes widened and whispers filled the boutique as he turned to her, echoing both pride and solidarity. Declaration, accountability unfolded, sparking change in that shimmering space where the wealthy mingled. But as the dust settled around accusations, the glimmer of Maya's dignity began to shine brighter than before. As the tension in Verona Lux escalated, Jade felt a spark of clarity igniting within her. She straightened her back, a quiet resolve blooming. "I'm just here for a dress," she murmured, her voice steadier than she anticipated. The opulence of the boutique, once overwhelming, now felt like her realm. The woman continued to sneer, eyes narrowing, yet Jade stood firm, holding her ground despite the hostility. She caught sight of a reflection in the crystal display, a poised figure, no longer the unsure girl she had been moments before. She reached for her phone, fingers trembling with anticipation, and dialed her dad. "Dad, can you come to Verona?" Her voice was softer, but the command in her tone rang clear. Shortly after, Marcus Ellis arrived with an air of authority that shifted the atmosphere in the boutique. The woman's facade faltered as he approached, his presence radiating strength and dignity. "What seems to be the issue here?" he asked, steady and calm. Behind her mask of bravado, the woman faltered. She was acting suspiciously," she stuttered, clutching her designer bag as if it were a lifeline. Novament met her gaze, no longer intimidated. "I was just shopping, like anyone else," she stated, her voice gaining confidence with each word. The murmur of support from nearby shoppers filled the air, an unexpected chorus standing behind her. "You have to leave," Marcus declared calmly, addressing the woman directly. The shift in power was palpable. Jade felt a rush of empowerment as the woman huffed in disbelief, her authority collapsing like a house of cards. As the confrontation ended, Marcus turned to Jade, pride gleaming in his eyes. "You handled that beautifully," he said softly, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. In that moment, Jade realized her small victory was just the beginning, a reclamation of her space and self-worth that would shape her future. In the opulent glow of Verona Lux, the clinking of crystal and whispering silk masked a storm brewing between the protagonist and the antagonist. A 16-year-old girl, poised with excitement for her father's charity gala, felt the warmth of ambition as she browsed elegant dresses, until a presence loomed. The tall, impeccably dressed woman, with a perfumed malice, trailed her like a shadow, her sneers barely concealed behind sunglasses. "Take sweetheart, I think you've mistaken the store for a clearance rack," the woman sneered, her voice dripping with scorn as she moved closer. The protagonist's heart sank, but she held her head high, her ambitions shadowed but unbroken. As the antagonist continued to berate her, questioning her presence, and even invoking the store manager, the atmosphere thickened with tension. The manager, caught between responsibilities and fear, regrettably sided with the woman, prompting an urge to protect herself. In a subtle act of defiance, the protagonist dialed her father, Marcus Ellis, CEO of the very chain they were in. Moments later, he strode in, exuding a commanding presence that shifted the power dynamics instantly. The woman's self-assured facade, built on prejudice, began to unravel as Marcus stood tall beside his daughter, his face a mask of disappointment and anger. "Windshield because the problem here," he asked, his voice steady. The woman's mouth opened, but her words caught in her throat as she stammered, realizing too late whom she had insulted. "This girl was accused of stealing," she murmured, attempting to regain composure. Marcus's eyes narrowed. She's my daughter, he revealed, the weight of truth stark against the boutique's polished glamour. Bystanders turned to witness the unfolding drama, their whispers now full of support for the young girl who stood undeterred. Your behavior is unacceptable, Marcus declared. With a swift motion, he turned, banning the woman from entering again and reprimanding the manager for his complicity. The boutique was quiet, breaths held, as righteous indignation washed over the crowd. A soft smile emerged from the girl as Marcus met her gaze, his tone soothing yet proud. You held your ground, my love. Always remember your worth. Together they walked away, leaving behind a lingering sense of justice fulfilled, a silent applause echoing in the hearts of those who witnessed the moment. The incident at Verona Lux lingers in my mind, a vivid reminder of the world we navigate. I stood there, heart racing, grounded by my father's unwavering belief in my worth, even as a stranger's disdain jabbed at my pride. That confrontation taught me more than I could have anticipated. It underscored the heartbreaking reality of bias, while burning into my spirit a fierce sense of resilience. I was not just a girl shopping for a dress. I became a symbol of standing up against the tide of discrimination. In the months since, I've reflected on the ugly truths that linger just beneath the surface of our society. I'm left wondering, how do we turn those moments of pain into catalysts for strength? Did I react as strongly as I needed to, or could I have chosen a different path? What would you have done in my shoes? Have you ever faced someone trying to belittle you based on who you are? I invite you to share your own stories and insights. Together, let's explore the nuances of power, bias, and the quest for justice.